How is it going, everyone? As one PlayStation Store sale comes to an end, you know what that means. There's another PlayStation Store sale on the horizon, and it's actually live right now. It is the Autumn Adventures sale, so shout out to the intern that came up with the name for this sale. I do believe the Autumn Adventures sale is a brand new sale as far as naming goes. Sometimes, like, the names of these sales, are a little crazy. Planet of the Discounts, Ready, Set, Play, which is just wrapping up, but I digress. Some deals available. I haven't even gone through the lineup yet, but I have it filtered via full game bundles and premium edition, so we can eliminate the DLC. North of 2,500 deals, so a lot of stuff discounted here. Let's go through it. I do see Split Fiction seeing its first discount on the PlayStation Store. It is 10% off for $44.99. You know, whenever I talk about Game of the Year, I do leave Split Fiction out of it, which I shouldn't, because Split Fiction was a damn good game. The issue is you do have to have this foreign concept that is known as a friend to play this game, and trust me, you guys, I had to go to the ends of the earth to find somebody to play this game with, but I was able to dig up, you know, one of my friends and was able to play Split Fiction, and I thought the game was really well done. Like, from a gameplay design standpoint, this game is just so unique and so well designed as far as a co-op focused game goes. Narratively, it really didn't do much for me, but I think from a gameplay design standpoint, the game is outstanding. I mean, it's 10% off for $45. Maybe if you have a friend that cares about you enough, you guys can go like halvesies on the purchase and you only spend $22.50 on it, but not a super lengthy game either, but a really, really well done game, so nonetheless, a 10% off discount on that. I don't know why I'm wasting so much time on that. Grand Theft Auto 5 is $19.79. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 6, all those games are on sale for those of you that want to pick it up. Baldur's Gate 3 at a historic low price point, 25% off for $52.49. Still a hefty price point, but that is a game a lot of people considered the 2023 Game of the Year. And you know what? You're gonna get a lot of content out of it. You're gonna get a lot of hours of game time out of it. So from that standpoint, it is something that is gonna, you know, be a value pickup in terms of how many hours you're getting for your dollar. Wasn't really my cup of tea, but $52.49 on that. Forza Horizon 5 Deluxe Edition, $56. Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate, $19.99. Phasmophobia, $14.99. And hey, back to Red Dead 2 for a second. That Nintendo Direct is coming up here on Friday. Fingers crossed Red Dead 2 gets announced for Switch 2 and also a next-gen upgrade. Is it a straight copium? It probably is, but you know I'm never gonna stop dreaming about the idea of the Arthur Morgan adventure on PlayStation 5 upgraded. But nevertheless, $19.99 for the Ultimate Edition on that. Arma Reforger is $29.99. Grounded is $19.99. Deep discount on Grounded, although Grounded 2 is in early access. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, 75% off for $17.49. Hey, that third-person update is coming out. I feel like I've been talking about that third-person update more than anyone else, and I do think there's going to be an influx of people that are like, hey, the game is cheap, I'm going to check it out, but, you know, $17.49 on that. The Ultimate Edition is $32.49, which I still think is too pricey. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Cross-Gen Deluxe Edition is $19.99. Sekiro, $29.99. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is $29.99. Look, I know everybody and their mother memed on HZD getting a remaster, and yes, it was insane that Horizon got a remaster, but I will say, this remaster is really well done. It does improve the visuals quite a lot. It is PS5 Pro enhanced, and I loved Horizon Zero Dawn. I legitimately think Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the best first-party PlayStation games of all time. I think it's that damn good. I think narratively the game was fantastic. I think from a gameplay standpoint, Forbidden West is better, but this is still solid, and the content was worthwhile. Like, I loved Horizon Zero Dawn, and I liked Forbidden West as well. I just thought Forbidden West got a little bit too wild with the narrative, and you know what? When we're talking about a game that has robo-dinos in it, yeah, the narrative's gonna be a little bit wild, but I thought HZD got it right, and for 30 bucks, I think it's a great deal. Highly recommend it. Thought that game was fantastic, so you know, price point for a game from 2017, you might criticize that, but you get Frozen Wilds in there as well, so take that for what you will. Black Ops Cold War cross-gen bundle, $24.49. As good as the campaign in Black Ops Cold War was, and I thought it was pretty damn good, $25 for, you know, a Call of Duty game for its campaign. Like, what are we doing here? Nobody trying to pick that up. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 Gold Edition, $21. Assassin's Creed Valhalla Complete Edition at a new low price point of $28. It usually goes on sale for $35. Look, I hate Valhalla from the standpoint of I think the game is way too bloated. I think the main character is absolute trash. If you want a Ubisoft open world game with an endless amount of content and that you can just zone out and do the content and, you know, have a decent time, explore the world, I do think there's fun to be had with the Assassin's Creed games of today, but, yeah, obviously they're just not really my cup of tea. You guys know how I am. What else we got? Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales is $19.99. Sonic X Shadow Generations, $29.99 on that. Definitely think that's a good price point. I loved the Shadow campaign, even though it is super, super short, which is a bummer, but they do a really good job with it. And you get Sonic Generations as well. And Sonic Generations is a damn good time. Definitely a worthwhile game to go through on that end as well. So $30 on that, I think is pretty decent, given that it's not even a year old at this point. UFC 5 Ultimate Edition, $35. Crash Bandicoot 4 is $19.79. Skyrim Anniversary, $16.49. Assassin's Creed Legendary Collection, which is $39.99. Look, the issue with this collection is that it's just a lot of base games. Like, you don't get the complete editions of the games, which if they were the gold editions and yo, if this was like all the gold editions and they priced it at what, maybe $60, I think it would be a great pickup. Like if you got AC Odyssey Gold Edition, AC Origins Gold Edition, the Syndicate Gold Edition, Black Flags Gold Edition, okay, that would be value, but here you're just getting the base games of all of these, which, you know, that's probably the idea. Yo, get these suckers to buy the Legendary Collection and then fleece them on the DLC on the back end, but man, just do a bundle with all of the gold editions included. Price it at a premium price point, but yeah, just not a big fan of that. Nonetheless, that is available. Odyssey Ultimate Edition is $17.99. Yakuza Like a Dragon, I should say, excuse me, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, 30% off for $42. Really like that game. That's a game, though, that is for the fans. I mean, it's not really a game that progresses the main story, although there's not really a ton to progress, but in the sense of it being consequential to the overall narrative of Yakuza, it's not that big of a game, but, you know, I really liked it, and Majima's a great character, so obviously it was great to have a game with him at the helm. $42 on that. Batman Arkham Knight is $4.99. You got Overcooked 1 and 2, the bundle, for $8 and change. Bully is $8.99. Persona 5 Royal, 65% off for $21 on that. I mean, I believe that might be a new low. You know, whatever. If it's not, Persona 5 is one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, even though I have been vocal about the fact that I like Metaphor more. P5 is still a tremendous, tremendous game that I would highly recommend, and $21 for that is a great deal, so definitely give that a look. The Midnight Walk, 35% off for $26. Dead Island 2, the Ultimate Edition, 70% off for $21. I do think the DLC in that game is kind of consequential, or, you know, it's relevant to the game, so I would recommend that. I know the base game is still in plus extra, so you can play it that way, but yeah, and it looks like Dead Island 3 will be happening based on Dambuster Studios' recent social media posts. I don't know how many of you guys are that excited about that, but Dead Island's a fun time, and I would think for $21, this isn't a horrible pickup. Spyro and Crash Remastered Game Bundle, $26.24. Spyro Reignited Standalone is $14, so you can get that as well. There's a lot of deals, you guys, that are listed in this sale that are not discounted. I don't know if it's a case of PlayStation still rolling out these discounts on these deals, but they're listed in this sale. Maybe they're just a part of what is considered to be an autumn adventure, and they won't be discounted, but nonetheless, they are listed. Kingdom Come Deliverance is $5.99. Star Wars Outlaws Gold Edition, $49.49. It's getting cheaper and cheaper. Look, when the Gold Edition is like $35, I actually think it's a good buy. $49.49, a little bit too pricey for my liking still. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, $7.49 on that. Infamous Second Son, $9.99. RIP Infamous. I don't think we'll ever see a new Infamous game, and honestly, with Sony these days, I don't even think we'll get an Infamous collection, because that's how much they hate us. But I love Infamous. Second Son was a good game, not as good as Infamous 1, maybe better than Infamous 2. I wasn't that hot on Infamous 2. It's a fairly short game as well, but obviously you have some replayability with the different routes. It's definitely a worthwhile game to go through. Like, I really liked Infamous Second Son, And while Delsin isn't as good of a character as Cole, I still found him to be a fairly likable character, all things considered. Mafia 3 is $5.99, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop $24.74, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is 84% off for $9.59. What else we got? Tekken 7 is $9.99, Haze Light Bundle $19.79 on that. Assassin's Creed Origins is $5.99, and then the Origins Gold Edition is $9.99, which Origins Gold Edition for $9.99 is an excellent deal. Definitely would recommend that. Dead Space Digital Deluxe is $15.99. The Digital Deluxe Edition is kind of meme, so I would just wait for the base game to be like $11.99 and pick it up then. It was a plus game not too long ago. Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader is 50% off for $24.99. That's an RPG with a ton of depth to it, a lot of dialogue, a lot of decision-making, and it's a pretty cool game. It's just, I don't know if that's the type of game the console audience is going to gravitate to, but I thought it was a pretty cool game. Echoes of the End is 20% off for $32. I feel like nobody knew that that game was coming out. It's something that I have installed right now. They sent me a copy of it. I do plan on getting to it at some point, but yeah, it seems to be a totally serviceable action game, and honestly, serviceable action games for north of $30. Probably a little bit too expensive, but I digress. Cuphead and the Delicious Last Course is $18.89. Red Dead 1 and 2, $45 on that. Planet Coaster 2 is $32.49. Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Trilogy is $12.49. You guys know how I feel about those games. Those games are phenomenal. Trails Through Daybreak 2 is $48. While I definitely did not like Daybreak 2 as some of the best Legend of Heroes games that I've played, it's still Legend of Heroes, man, and I'm still a sucker for these games, and I still thought it was a great time to go through and spend, 70 hours on the game, and had a great time with it still, even though, overall it wasn't that consequential to Legend of Heroes' overarching narrative, but yeah, I like Van as a main character. I like the cast in Legend of Heroes, in this Calvert arc, I should say, and I still had a great time with Daybreak 2, so $48 on that. RoboCop Rogue City Alex Murphy Edition is $10.49. Alan Wake Remastered, $4.49 on that. Assassin's Creed The Ezio Collection is $11.99. I mean, those games are phenomenal. I recently did another playthrough of AC2, and it's still one of the greatest games of all time. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, $8.99 on that. Awesome deal. Super, super underrated. I had no care in the world for the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I had nothing against them. Just didn't watch the movies prior to playing the game, and I had a phenomenal time with that game. I just thought it was great. Thought the characters were super likable. $9 for that is great. Remnant 2 base game is $19.99. That should get cheaper at this point. Like, I get it, people really like that game, but there's an Ultimate Edition with notable content, and it would just be nice to have that a little bit cheaper. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare 1979, the Legacy Edition with COD 4 Remastered is $32. Little Nightmares 2 is $9.89. Saints Row the 3rd Remastered, $4.49 on that is pretty good. Metro Exodus for $4.49. Dying Light True Survivors Bundle $29.69. Dying Light 2 Stay Human Digital Extras Edition, which the Digital Extras Edition isn't really something you need to get. Session Skate Sim, $9.99. Sonic Frontiers for $18 is great. You guys know how I feel about that game. That game is awesome. Mad Max for $4.99. Divinity Original Sin 2, $18 on that. Octopath Traveler 1 is $24, which is not a bad deal there. Soul Calibur 6 is $9.59. Mafia 2, $5.99. What else we got? Far Cry Primal, $4.49 for Far Cry Primal is really good. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is $13.99. I mean, Borderlands 4 is out this Friday, but if you want to get the cheaper game, I mean, that is an option. Middle Earth The Shadow Bundle, $6.99 on that. Great deal there for both of those games. Dragon Age Inquisition Game of the Year Edition, $9.99 for that is great. Control Ultimate Edition at a historic low of $3.99. Awesome, awesome deal. I do think Control is Remedy's best game ever, and I know some people will vehemently disagree with me on that, but I thought Control was phenomenal. Great game, great gameplay, great visuals. Just had a great time with Control. Definitely recommend it at $3.99. Titanfall 2 is $4.99, which is a pretty good deal, for what it is at this point. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Deluxe is $12.49. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, that's the PS4 version, is $19.99. Forspoken, $21. Hey, if Forspoken gets down to like $9.99, I'd actually recommend it, but $21 is still way too pricey. What else we got? Final Fantasy VII OG, $6.39. Dead Cells is $12.49. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is $19.99. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the Daima Edition, is $40. The issue is this doesn't include the other DLC. You get Kakarot and Daima, but they fleece you out of Season Pass 1 and 2, so you know, it is what it is. Like, it's an okay pickup, but yeah, eventually, and I think it's already out, there's like a super ultimate edition with all of the content. Let me actually figure it out if that's on sale. Yeah, the master edition, that's 25% off for $74.99, but yeah, that's way too pricey for that, but nonetheless, there you go. With that, Wolf Among Us is $7.49, which Wolf Among Us is awesome. Monster Hunter Stories 2 is $25. Stories 3 looks awesome. But yeah, Stories 2 there, $25 on that. Contra Operation Galaga, 50% off for $19.99. Pacific Drive Deluxe Edition, $17.49. Really cool game. They just announced some DLC for it that looks pretty promising. Like, I didn't love the game as far as my taste in games go, but I did love the ambiance and the atmosphere to that game. I thought it was tremendous. So you can check that out for $17.49. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus is $5.99. Castlevania Requiem Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, $4.99 on that. And Immortals Phoenix Rising, $12 there. Gold Edition is $14.99. What else we got? Wanted Dead is $6. Unicorn Overlord, the Monarch Edition is $28. Thaumaturge is $17.49. That screams plus game at some point to me, but we'll see about that. Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, historic low on that, I believe, at $4.49, so great pickup there. On the video here, but a lot of notable deals available and a lot of stuff, obviously, that is a bit of a retread, but some stuff to check out as always. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, do sound off there. A bunch of new deals to check out, but yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Sound off with your thoughts down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.